Hey guys, how's it going? In today's video I'm going to be talking about the rematch that's just been announced between Derek Chisora and Joseph Parker. The first fight was a very good, entertaining and competitive matchup as well. At the end of the fight, I think I had the fight scored 8 rounds to 4 for Joseph Parker, with Derek Chisora getting the first round knockdown, which makes my scorecard I think 115 to 112 for Joseph Parker. That's how I had the fight scored, although I will admit there were a lot of close and difficult rounds to score, in which someone could swing the round each way depending on what you like as a judge or a boxing fan. So the first fight was close and competitive. At the end of the fight, there were quite a few people I saw in the media saying that Chisora was robbed, or he should have got the decision. I thought Joseph Parker did enough to get the decision. He was landing the clearer, cleaner, more straight, eye-catching shots, in my opinion. So that's what I saw. And like I said, I had the fight 115 to 112 for Joseph Parker. So that is a very competitive matchup. So I can't really knock the reason for there being a rematch. Now, I am quite looking forward to this rematch. Chisora is always involved in entertaining fights, so I expect nothing less. He's a predictable fighter. He's going to come forwards. He's going to be extremely aggressive, and he's going to leave it all in the ring. Even at this age of 37 or 38 years old, he still gives a lot of these guys a lot of problems, and he's a hard guy to deal with simply due to him being, so aggressive and extremely durable in there. So he's a guy that's dangerous for however long the fight lasts, because he's going to be throwing big power shots for 12 rounds, loading up on every shot he's throwing. So he's in there, he's dangerous. Joseph Parker, in my opinion, in that first fight and in most of his fights, this has been my criticism on him, because I said this in the pre-fight video to the first Chisora fight. I feel like he's a little bit too lackadaisical in there. And I need him to be a little bit more switched on and have a little bit more purpose for every minute of the fight, because I feel like even in that fight it showed he came out too relaxed. Chisora came out how he always comes out, hyper aggressive, started extremely fast, caught Parker by surprise, and he dropped Parker with almost the first punch he landed on Parker, when he hit him with the overhand right, sort of behind his ear, put Parker down. He wasn't too badly hurt, but he dropped Parker, caught him off guard. In my opinion, Parker was too relaxed once again. And I didn't feel like Parker was aggressive enough down the stretch in that fight, because after the first 4 or 5 rounds, Chisora kind of blows his gas tank because he's so aggressive in those first 4 or 5 rounds. He wastes a lot of energy, loading up on all his shots with a bunch of big wide overhand shots and hooks. A lot of them are quite ineffective, to be honest. He misses a lot of them and wastes a lot of energy, and I felt like once he kind of fatigued in that fight, Parker could have put his foot down and try to get a stoppage in the back end of that fight. But he did take over the fight towards the back end of the fight, but I don't feel like he was aggressive enough. I will say he started to establish his jab a bit more down the stretch, and I'd like to see him in this fight try and jab with a bit more purpose and establish his jab more in this rematch. Now, going into that first fight, he had I think 6 weeks or something like that with his new trainer Andy Lee. So now he's had a lot more time to be working with Andy Lee, and I'm kind of excited to see if they've made any further improvements going into this rematch now that they've had a bit more time together. So I'm expecting this fight to play out similarly to how the first fight played out. I can't really see Chisora making any adjustments or changes at this point of his career that's going to kind of change the result of this fight or change his style. I'm sure he's going to come out how he came out for the first fight, and almost all of his fights he's going to be extremely aggressive for the first half of the fight and try to be aggressive for the full fight. But certainly at 37, 38 years old, he doesn't quite have the gas tank to keep up that hyper aggressive pace for 12 rounds or 10 rounds. So I think he'll come out fast again for the first 4 or 5 rounds before, kind of exhausting himself and having to pace himself for the back half of the fight. So I think Parker needs to be switched on from the start of the fight, unlike last time. Come out defensively responsible, show a bit of movement, try keep Chisora on the end of a jab, try tie him up when Chisora gets on the inside, to try and avoid the exchanges with Chisora in the first 4 or 5 rounds when Chisora is at his most effective and most dangerous. So like I say, try use your jab, show a bit of movement, because Parker's got pretty good legs, pretty good jab as well. So if I'm Parker, I'm using a lot of lateral movement for the first 4 or 5 rounds, boxing Chisora more. Once I see Chisora starting to slow down and fatigue, then I think Parker can start to sit down on his shots a bit more, really start to try and catch Chisora with a lot more power shots, and try and push Chisora back, because if you can push Chisora back, I think he'll run out of ideas really quickly. So like I say, in this fight, I think Parker's really got to try and make a statement and try and get a stoppage over Chisora at this point in his career, especially if you want to show that you are top 10 or top 5 fighter in the heavyweight division. I think you've got to try and stop Chisora at this point in his career, because like I said in the first video I did on this fight, Parker, when he was coming up, he was seen as a monstrous puncher when he was fighting the domestic level guys, and now that he's kind of got to the world level stage, his power hasn't really transferred over to the world level that much. I mean, he still dropped Dillian White at the end of their fight, but I think that was more due to White also being completely spent at the the 10th or 12th round, however many rounds they were fighting that fight. I think it was 12 rounds. He was completely exhausted, and Parker dropped him with the right hand. So Parker can definitely punch, but I feel like he hasn't been aggressive enough to get the stoppages at this world level, and he's got really fast hands. So in this fight, Chisora, he's always going to give you a lot of opportunities to counter punch and to hurt him in these fights. Now he has got, like I say, one of the best chins in boxing, and you have to hit Chisora perfectly on the chin to knock him down or knock him out. Only I think David Haye and Dillian White have knocked out Chisora or put him out cold. I know Tyson Fury stopped him, but that was kind of just an accumulation of shots, closed up his eyes, and just beat the hell out of Chisora. He really had no success in that fight, so he kind of got discouraged and beaten up. He didn't get knocked out in that fight, but David Haye and Dillian White both knocked Chisora out with that left hook on the button, and it's got to land perfectly. Now, Parker has a pretty good left hook. He was hitting Chisora with a lot of check left hooks in their first fight. Now, like I said, Chisora, he's pretty predictable, so he's going to try to get on the inside. He's going to be aggressive. He's going to try and get past Parker's jab, try to get on the inside, and then you almost know what shots Chisora is going to throw. He throws them from weird angles, with them coming from right over the top, like almost like at Maidana overhand right, very wide left hooks, very wide hooks from his right hand as well. So he throws shots from weird angles, which can be hard to defend. He can catch you behind the head. And he's also going to throw shots anywhere and try to land them all over. He's going to throw them at your hips, at your arms, at your shoulders, at your head, at your body. He's going to stray. Some shots are going to stray a bit low. Some shots are going to stray behind your head. Chisora really doesn't care too much about style points. He's here to just turn it into a barroom brawl and try and get the knockout by any means. So he's going to be rough, he's going to be tough, he's going to be a little bit dirty in the fight. So Parker already knows that. He's done 10 or 12 rounds with him. I think it was a 12-round fight. So in this rematch, like I said, Chisora, he's going to be his usual self, which is pretty predictable. He's going to come marauding forwards, trying to get on the inside under Parker's jab. But like I say, when he gets on the inside, he's really not the most effective guy. He kind of smothers a lot of his work. A lot of his shots are very wide, cuffing shots. So I think Parker can look for some counters on the inside, because he has the much faster hands, more skillful fighter. And Parker can fight on the inside. If he gets hurt, or if he's, getting a bit stressed by Chisora in the early rounds, like I say, just tie Chisora up, walk him back, kind of how I did in the first fight and how David Haye did. Walk back the bigger man in the clinch. That fatigued Chisora a bit as well. But like I say, there's a lot of opportunities to counter Chisora when Chisora gets inside, because he's throwing such wide hooks. saw Dillian Whyte, every time Chisora, would throw one of his right hands, Dillian Whyte would catch and shoot with the left hook, which in the end resulted to a knockout with a left hook. So there's a lot of opportunities to counter Chisora on the inside his wide shots. I'm expecting that from Parker with the much faster hands to have a lot of success, with those little short left hooks on the inside as well as his vicious right uppercut. And I think he has the opportunity to stop Chisora. If he stops Chisora, I think it is going to be in the second half of the fight, after Chisora kind of blows his gas tank and is a bit of a handful for the first half of the fight. So I'm leaning towards, well, not really leaning, I'm expecting Parker to win the fight. I'd like to see him go for the stoppage in this fight, and if he stops Chisora, like I say, I think it'll be in the second half of the fight. But I can't really see Derek Chisora winning this fight, because Parker, he's got a very good chin himself. He's very durable, so I don't see Chisora getting the knockout over Parker. And at this point in his career, I can't see him beating Parker on points. He gave his best effort in the last fight, and he had almost a perfect start to the fight where he dropped Parker in the first round and probably won the first couple of rounds while his gas tank was still full. So he had the perfect start in the last fight. He still couldn't get the victory then. I don't think he's going to get as good of a start this time, because I don't think he's going to catch Parker sleeping in the first round. He won't make that mistake twice of, coming out not expecting Chisora to bull rush him in the first minute of the round. So I don't think he's going to drop Parker in this fight, and I think Parker's going to go on, probably, like I say, either win slightly competitive, but also decently wide, maybe a 8-4 again, or a 9-3 in terms of rounds, on a unanimous decision for Joseph Parker, with a good chance at possibly stopping Derek Chisora late in the fight when Chisora starts to fatigue. He is a very durable, tough guy, but at this point in his career, he's been through so many wars. His gas tank is not, it's not built for 12 rounds with his style, and he's not really defensively blessed for when he does run out of gas. He's kind of easy to hit. I mean, he is dangerous because he will throw those haymakers back at you, but they're very wide looping shots, and I think Parker will be able to see most of them coming and be able to make Chisora pay. So like I say, in this fight, I'm expecting Joseph Parker to get the win in this fight. I'd like to see him be more aggressive, and I think Andy Lee should really try and push Parker to go for the stoppage in this fight, because I think and I'm not saying go out looking for the stoppage, but when the opportunity presents itself, which I think it is going to present itself, like I say, in the back end of this fight, when Chisora starts to get really sloppy and tired, I think that's when, Parker's got to have the will to go and take the stoppage, because I feel like he's got to make a statement in this fight. Chisora is not, in my opinion, a top 15 heavyweight at this point in time, and with Parker trying to show that he is a, top 10 heavyweight, I feel like he should be getting rid of a guy like Derek Chisora at this point in his career. So I'm expecting, a good entertaining fight. Chisora giving it his all again in the early half of the fight, and Parker kind of taking over from the fifth round onwards. I think Parker's really going to gain control of the fight, and then it's up to him on whether he will get the stoppage or just be content to box towards another decision over Chisora. That's how I see the fight going and playing out, guys. Let me know in the comment section below who you guys are picking to win this fight and how you see the fight going. Also, who did you guys think won the first fight? Like I say, I thought Parker did enough to get the decision in the first fight. Let me know in the comment section below who you're picking to win this fight. Thanks for watching. Talk to you guys again soon. Cheers.